could it be? But me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the NFC West React Prediction Video Live Show, where I open the floor to you guys and allow you to tell me what you think is going to take place in the ultra competitive NFC West. I think this division is on the rise. The Rams and the Seahawks, to me, are going to compete, not just for NFC West supremacy, but I think they're going to compete for a trip to the Super Bowl. Those teams are going to be that good, potentially, especially the Rams. But the 49ers and the Cardinals are not to be slept on. I think the Cardinals are a little bit more behind than the 49ers are. I think the 49ers are ready to win now. Not Super Bowl ready, but I think they're ready to take that next step and get to the postseason. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that or not. As you see the records that I have given already for each team in the division. Obviously, those things are subject to change with how the season goes. Ball bounces, a team's way, injuries, things of that nature. All of these things are going to impact these teams and that final outcome of the season. But nonetheless, I've talked to you already about how I feel about these teams and what I think is going to take place. Now, I want to hear from you guys. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. There's the number there. Twitter's open. At Louie T Network is the Twitter handle. Make sure you use the hashtag Louie T Live. Also, there is YouTube Live, where we'll be in the comment section, chopping it up. And I'll go ahead and get that open as well. So we'll have that at our disposal too. So I'll open up the YouTube chat discussion here and make sure I'll have that available. See, the phone lines are already lit, so I'll get to that here in a second. Just continue to call in, but I want to make sure I have YouTube pulled up as well. So with that being said, let's get that pulled up, and now
Robinhood is an
we
investing
can
app that lets
get this going. So here we go. All right, so now that is up. Now we can get to the phone lines. Make sure you like the video. And see. Trying to make sure I get to these comments. They didn't pop up that time. So I'll make sure. There we go. And I got all the comments in front of me. All right. So, comment section is open. Twitter is open. And the phone lines are open. So you guys have at it. And I see the phone lines are lit. So let's go ahead and start the show off. You are live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Man, it's your boy Protect Sports. What's goody, Louie?
What's going on, Tones? What's good with you, bro?
Man, nothing much, bro. Just trying to catch the stream, bro. It's football season, baby. Time to talk some ball. Let's get it.
Let's talk about it then, man. What you think about this division, NFC West?
Man, this NFC West is super competitive.
Yep.
With that. Look at this division. It's hard to pick a winner, actually. I know I think the Rams might take a slight step back.
Okay.
Their defense might not be as good. Seahawks are always competitive once they got Russell Wilson, the quarterback. The Niners are a really wild card. They're a big wild card to me.
Yep.
If Jimmy Garoppolo can play 16 games and actually stay healthy and not tear his ACL week 3 or some crap,
Right.
they could actually compete. I love what they did in the offseason. They got the pass rush, Bosa and D4, and I got Defoe, and
Yep.
all these damn pass rushers out the wazoo. And
Yep.
offensively, Kyle Shanahan's a freaking genius. And the Cardinals, I think they're kind of a year away. And
Yeah.
they need a couple. They need to retool a little bit more. They need to fix that line a little bit. I love the air raid offense that Cliff Kingsbury will install.
Yeah.
I love that Kyler Murray's the perfect fit for it, but they need to fix that offensive line a little bit more. They need a legit number one wide receiver. They need a few things in Arizona before I can really think they can compete. But those other three teams, it's hard to pick. But if I were to pick a winner right now, I would go ahead and say the Rams are part of VPs, NFC West champions.
Okay.
So I do think Sean McVay is the best coach in that division. And I do think him and Goff have the best rapport of everyone else in the division.
Okay.
So I'm going to give the Rams a nod. I think they win 10 games. Don't win 10. I don't think they're going to win 13 like last year. Because the question with Gurley's health, too, with the arthritic issue. And, There's a couple questions. With the Rams defense, losing Sue and Ken Talib and Peters for people they did last year. There's a few questions with them defensively that I'm not really sold on to actually see them play in a regular season game.
Yeah.
I think second will be the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks they're always primed for a playoff run as long as they got Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
That's simply put. The Niners are a huge wild card. I think they can win 8 games. I'm not so certain about Jimmy Garoppolo's health, so I can't really say they're going to take this quantum leap until I see him actually stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Cardinals win 6 games. I think they go from 3 wins to 6 wins.
Yeah.
And then next year they start to reach with that team a little bit more. Then they'll take that quantum leap from that 6-win season they had this year to being an actual contender for a postseason berth next year in 2020.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on the NFC West.
That sounds good, man. I mean, that's pretty much where I am. I think I don't think 10 wins this division though.
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a scenario where it's so competitive in that division that 10 gets it done, but I think it's going to take at least 11 because I could see Seattle and Los Angeles winning 11 games. To be honest with you, so I think this division is
not so much. I honestly think I have both the Rams and Seahawks at 10-6, but I do think the tiebreaker will be the Rams sweeping the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Beating them in Seattle, at home in L.A.
Yeah.
That'll be the tiebreaker, and now allow them to win the division, even they have the same record.
Okay.
That's how I have it. I have both of them 10-6. I have the Niners around 8-8, and then I have the Cardinals at 6-10. But I do think they will both have the same record, but I think the Rams will sweep the Seahawks, which will give them the nod to win the division. So that's how I look at it right now.
Who do you think is the best coach in the division?
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay. So that's no hesitation. Sean McVay.
No hesitation. It's not close.
Really? So you just gonna dismiss Pete Carroll like that?
We stop. I mean, Pete Carroll. It's definitely Pete Carroll. I'm just literally kidding, but
Okay.
I had to kid around. It's like Joey Shark did yesterday with the whole. But yeah, definitely Pete Carroll.
Okay.
But it's getting close though. Like Sean McVay is talented.
I mean, if you feel like it's Sean McVay, that's okay. It's not like not even close. It's if it's Sean McVay 1, Pete Carroll 2, that's fine. But it's not that big of a gap between the two of them.
It's not. Hey, I think it's Carroll though. I had to kid around.
Okay.
Everybody wants to hype up these young up and coming coaches.
Hey, look, man.
I just wanted to hype him up a little bit.
Yeah, Sean is different though. He's not your average run of the mill young coach. You know what I mean?
Sean, my guy.
Yeah, obviously for obvious reasons, he's your guy. You know what I mean? So I feel the same way. But hey, man, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Tones. Definitely, y'all check out his site over on Protect Sports on Weebly. And hey, man, you said something about a YouTube channel yesterday. You got a channel?
Yeah, man. I'm actually gonna upload my first video tomorrow, man. Same name as the blog Protect Sports. It's the same page. You just click on the page.
Okay.
I'm gonna upload my intro video tomorrow.
Okay.
I start uploading daily, so you
All right.
go check it out.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be on the lookout for that, y'all. Protect Sports, man. Shoot that man a sub.
Yeah,
turn on the notifications and then check him out, man. Hey, appreciate you, Tones.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so we off and we running. Check Twitter real quick. Phone lines open. And we get back to the phone lines. All right, so let's get to the comment section on YouTube. Let's get all the way back to the top. And Nick Riley says, I'm not sold on Jimmy G, and I don't like the 49ers secondary at all. They were dead last in 2018. The secondary is going to be much better. Jimmy Ward was injured last year. He's back after a broken collarbone. Dick Sherman, while he's getting up there in age, I still think he's a veteran that can help. But here's the biggest difference in that secondary. They're going to get to the quarterback in 2019. That's why they couldn't get to the quarterback consistently last year. Only Defoe was the only real guy to get to the quarterback. We're gonna come back to that because I want to talk about Jimmy G as well. But I got a call. I'm gonna take it. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
It's Cubone.
What up, Q-Bone?
What's up, man? Like you said, I'm back.
Oh, I knew you were gonna be back.
Yeah, you knew I was gonna come back.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I definitely want to hear from you. You being a Rams fan.
Man.
Talk to me about this division. First of all, before you even get into the division as a whole, talk to me about your Rams. What do you expect from them in 2019? Do you see an encore performance? McVay and your general manager, fresh off of an extension. How do you feel about where the Rams are? Todd Gurley, his knee, that situation. Do you feel like this team is poised to get back to the Super Bowl in 2019?
Ooh, that's a good question, Lou. First of all, those extensions, well deserved.
Yes, I agree.
It's so tough to say because there's so many really good teams in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, look, don't crash the car either, man. I hear you in there turning signal and turning corners and stuff. Make sure you're driving safe out there, man.
Hey, now, how did you know I was in a car?
I could hear the turning signals as you were turning, okay?
It was hooked up to my Bluetooth.
Just make sure you're safe out there now.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm good now.
Okay, cool.
But there's so many good teams in the NFC. Like, I expect the Saints to still be good. I expect a lot more teams in the NFC South to be just, in general, be really good.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a couple teams in the North that could be really good this year. So, in terms of going to the Super Bowl, I don't know. That's very tough because you also got to understand there's some injuries that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to.
I'm gonna knock on some wood. I'm gonna knock on some wood for you too. Yeah, man. I'm with you.
Actual wood on your end, so there you go. But I'm gonna just say no.
Okay. All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they make it back.
Right.
I would absolutely love to see them go back.
Of course.
But there's too many good teams in the NFC this year.
Gotcha. All right, so before I let you transition, talk to me about Gurley and where you feel like he is and how do you feel about Henderson, who you drafted, and also talk to me about the defense. And do you think the defense can be a little bit better than they were last year? I actually was somewhat disappointed in the defense last year. Thought they got better in the postseason. But talk to me about Gurley and his situation and the running back position as a whole, and then talk to me about the defense.
Well, I think the one thing about the running back position that I really liked is that we brought back Malcolm Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Malcolm Brown.
Yep.
We did bring him back, right?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not on acid or anything.
Right.
So
No,
we did bring
you
him
did
back.
bring him back. Yeah.
It's unfortunate what's going on with Todd Gurley and his knee, but I mean, it's the name of the business. Unfortunately, these things happen. I'm just hoping we don't put too much of the offense squarely on Todd Gurley, which is why we drafted Henderson in the third round, which I love the pick, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact we got a running back in the draft.
Yep.
Overall, though, the defense, I mean, as long as Aaron Donald's not going to hold out on in training camp
This
again.
is the first time he's been to training camp on time in like 4 years. It's crazy.
Yeah. As long as he's not doing that again, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
We brought back Dante Fowler.
Yep.
There's some linebackers that left in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, LaMarcus Joyner's no longer there. We replaced him with Eric Weddle. We brought in Clay Matthews.
Right.
I don't expect the defense to be better.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't expect them to be
worse.
Doo-doo juice
Gotcha.
because of Wade Phillips. I trust Wade Phillips.
Yeah, me too.
That.
I agree with that. He'll get the most out of
I don't
what
think
he
the
has.
defense will be necessarily as good as they were last year, which was But at the same time, I don't think they're going to be so bad that we're going to have to count on the offense to score 8 points a game just to win a game.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Now, with that being said, talk to me about the division as a whole. Where do you see the Rams, Hawks, Niners, and Cards all falling in this division?
That's so tough. I'm sweating here, man. There's all 4 of those teams I could very well see being very good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, one of them is only allowed to win the division. If I had to choose, I'm going to go L.A. 1.
Okay.
I'm biased. What are you going to say about that? I don't know.
It's all good. It's not like they're not good or something.
I'm from St. Louis. I was raised a Rams fan. I will always be a Rams fan.
Right.
And then I got Seattle by the hair of their chinny chin chins following the Rams.
Okay.
And then I got Arizona.
Okay.
And then San Francisco.
So you think the Cardinals are going and when you are the Cardinals are they 8-8 good, or are they 5-11, 6-10, and the 49ers are just going to be that bad?
I think it's going to be. I feel like you can honestly flip flop the Niners with the Cardinals. I feel like all 4 of these teams are that good.
Okay.
I feel like all of them can end up being 8-8 in that kind of range.
All right.
I think Arizona's going to surprise people just because of the unknown factor involving Arizona and their new head coach with their new quarterback.
Yeah.
There's just a whole lot of unknown right now, I feel, in Arizona, which is going to catch a lot of people off guard.
Yeah.
Similar to what happened with the Eagles in 2013 with Chip Kelly and that whole Oregon Duck offense going high octane offense with the least amount of time of possession.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a
kind
little bit of that element as well.
I don't think it's going to be like that necessarily, but I do feel like there's going to be a surprise factor in Arizona. It's going to catch a lot of teams off guard.
Yeah, it's going to be an adjustment period. I think that's why they're going to have a shot early on. But once the league catches up, there's film from 3 or 4 games to assess. I think the teams will make the adjustment, and then you'll start to see the Cardinals, I think, kind of take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Sounds good, man. So you got the Rams finishing first. You got the Hawks barely finishing second. You've got the Cards finishing in third. And you've got the 49ers finishing in last place.
In fourth, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay. Sounds good to me. I appreciate you, as always, Q-Bone, man. You have a good one, and I look forward to chopping it up with you in the future, man.
Oh, damn well, if I get the chance to, I'm going to call in.
Sounds good to me. I'll be here.
All right.
Take care.
If you'll excuse me, I'm about to go to the drive-thru.
Hey, man, make sure you don't eat and drive, man. Don't do that.
Oh, no, I don't do that.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right, so Q-Bone thinks his Rams are going to finish in first, which it's not him being a homer. They're a good football team, and they're a well-run organization, and they're in a really good spot right now. And I think they are a team that can contend for many years to come in the NFC, not just the NFC West. But let's get back to what my man Nick was saying about the 49ers. Jimmy G, I really want to have a discussion about him tonight. And he says he doesn't like the secondary. I think the secondary is going to be helped by, because I don't count on Jason Verrett. I love Jason Verrett just as much as the next man. Matter of fact, I think my man Nick is calling in now. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
It's Nick. What's good, Lou?
What's going on, Nick at night? So I was just reading your comment, and it's perfect that you called in. because I want to have this discussion with you now that you're on the phone. So I'm with you. I don't necessarily know if Jimmy G is, what we've hyped him up to be.
I feel like he's like one of them products of the Patriot system, but it's kind of like weird too, because like as much as like usually the product guys, they don't have a problem getting rid of him, but remember Bill Belichick wanted to keep him. He almost like was ready to get rid of Brady to keep him. I remember that.
Yeah, and remember when he got to San Francisco, he won 6 straight. I mean, it wasn't all pretty.
Yeah, wasn't it at the end of the year though?
It was, but I mean, 6 straight is 6 straight. You know what I mean? Like the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken, to that point, I don't know if they had won a game or not. They might have been like 1 and 8 at that point, and he comes in.
I think you're right. Yeah, they might have. I don't even know if they won one.
I don't even think they had won yet, and then he wins 6 straight. So they had the 49ers fan base on cloud 9. Last year, he started off the season. It wasn't great.
They was getting real hype coming into the season when they played us. They was talking about they was about to dust our ass. They had to put that to bed real quick.
Yeah. So I'm with you on Jimmy G. Jury's still out. I actually think he's going to be just fine with Kyle Shanahan, but he's got to stay healthy. The secondary, I think, is going to be much better.
I feel like their best corner is Jason Verrett, but like this dude can't stay healthy.
I mean, you can't count on him just because you like
That's
you just said.
Yeah, like I don't really rock with their secondary because he's the best one, and this man injured all the damn time. Like
I haven't given up on Akilo Witherspoon. I think Dick Sherman still has a little bit left in the tank, so I think they'll be fine. But most importantly, I think they're going to get after the quarterback, and that's going to relieve.
The rest of their team is definitely stacked. Like their offense is good too. They have a young receiving core.
Yeah.
I think Deebo Samuel is going to be pretty damn good, but he's another guy that got banged up a lot in college too.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
I know. I see some tweets today that said Dante Pettis, he led the NFL at most yards per catch. It was like 17.6 per catch or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they got talent, man. Between Pettis and Jalen Hurd, who they drafted this year, as well as Deebo Samuel. They got Jordan Matthews. They got Trent Taylor as a slot. I mean, they got some talent on that football team. There's a lot of good players on that football team. I love the addition of Tevin Coleman. I talked about him on my podcast. I think he's going to rush for 1,000 yards, along with your ex running back, Jerick McKinnon, the secret weapon. There's a lot of stuff.
I was mad as hell when we let him go. I love Jerick McKinnon.
Love
he seemed like he didn't want to be there no more, though.
Well, he wanted a chance to play.
I never thought he was a lead back.
Yeah, he wanted a chance to be the guy, and unfortunately he got hurt last year. But they're stacked. I just think the 49ers have a legit chance to make some noise this year. But enough about the 49ers. Talk to me about this division overall, Nick. What do you see happening in this division? If you got records, give me records. But I'm more. Go ahead.
I got the Rams winning. I got them going 11-5. I got the Seahawks coming in second at 10-6.
Okay.
I got the 49ers at 7-9.
Okay.
And the Cardinals at 5-11.
Okay. So you said you got the Niners at 7-9 and the Cards at 5-11. What do you think is going to take place with the Arizona Cardinals this year?
What you say?
What do you think is going to happen with the Cardinals this year in terms of that team? What direction do you see them going? How do you think Kyler Murray is going to fare? And do you think Cliff Kingsbury's air raid attack is going to work in this league?
I think Kyler Murray will be good, but I don't know how good because their O-line is still so damn trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like their O-line, like even the guys that are like somewhat decent on their O-line, they only played like the best O-lineman they got is obviously J.R. Sweezy, but Marcus Gilbert's good too, but he's only played like 14 or 15 games in like the last 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, he's been dealing with injuries. Yeah.
So, like, I think Cliff Kingsbury will be all right. I'm not sure, like, if he's gonna come out the gate his first year and be something like crazy.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be solid. I don't think they'll have like any questions on if it was a bad move this year. Like.
So you think his offense can work?
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. Yeah.
Okay. So my last question, and then I'll let you run. Looking at this entire division with the Rams and the Hawks, are they both playoff teams? You had the Rams at 11-5, Hawks at 10-6. Are those two playoff teams?
Yeah, I definitely think they're both playoff teams. Yeah.
Do you see either one or both of them as true Super Bowl contenders in the NFC conference?
Oh, I don't think the Rams is like a legit Super Bowl contender because like after how I saw Jared Goff play the Super Bowl, I swear to God, it might have been one of the worst quarterback performances in the Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
And like for the Seahawks, I would give them a better shot at winning the Super Bowl than the Rams, to be honest.
So you do see the Seahawks as a potential Super Bowl contender?
Yeah.
All right. Do you trust their defense after moving on from Frank Clark, and they already got issues with L.J. Collier getting injured, and
How long he out for?
right now it's just an ankle sprain. I don't think if they are able to get him on the mend. I think he might be back for week 1. Even if he's out week 1, he won't be.
They
He
added
won't miss a lot of
Ezekiel
time.
Ansah. I thought that was a good pickup for them.
He is, but how healthy is he? And what Ezekiel Ansah are you getting?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if it's hard though because like their offense is so damn good, but like their defense is like mid-tier maybe.
Yeah.
So it's like I seen some like you think about it like I never thought like the Patriots defense was all that great either. So it's like as long as your offense can put up some solid points and your defense is in that mid-tierish, I feel like you have a chance to win.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's you just pretty much described probably 2/3 of the NFL right there.
Yeah.
So, hey man, Nick, it's always a pleasure, bruh. Your insight is always sharp and spot on, man. I appreciate you chiming in.
No problem, bro. Have a good one.
Be easy, man. Nick and Night, everybody. So, back to the comment section we go. Nick also said Dick Sherman isn't getting any younger. Best cornerback they have is Jason Verrett. He's always hurt. Outside of that, Jaquaski Tart is okay, no doubt. The rest of the team is cold, though. So he really thinks that outside of the secondary, this team is legit, which is what he pretty much vocalized as we just had him on the line. My man Sean Mack says, Jimmy G is as brittle as glass in a deep freeze. A stiff breeze puts him out for a month, bro. That's going to be the big thing for them, but I got a call. Going to go ahead and take it. I think I know who this is. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
I'll give you one hint.
I thought you were going to be first, so I was shocked.
So I decided to let a few calls in before I rip y'all a new one.
Okay, hey, we have no problems with that, BE, whatsoever. I knew it was coming, okay? I was already prepared, so I said, I'd rather just get it out the way early. You said, no, I'm going to let it marinate for a little while, and then I'm going to bless you. So the floor is yours. Arizona going 3-13. I know you're going to kill me, so go right ahead. Say what you have to say.
You're saying you can't give us wins because we need to earn them.
All right.
Fair point. How are you going to give the Niners sweeping us when they haven't beat us in 4 years?
Because it has to end at some point, BE.
But they have to earn it first.
You're right. You're right.
So that's like a catch-22.
Yeah.
Second, protest. You're saying the Cardinals don't have a legit number 1 receiver.
I didn't say that. I didn't
That's
say
what
that.
Protect is.
Yes. Okay, he said that. Yes.
Protect. You're really going to do Larry dirty like that?
Yeah, I'm not putting
Come
Larry
on.
to bed yet.
Second, we have Christian Kirk, who's an up-and-coming. If it wasn't for a broken foot,
Right.
he was, I think, close to 700-800 yards last year.
Yeah.
So we have him.
Yep.
Andy Isabella, who we got in the second this past year, is looking great, really good.
Yeah.
And then Keyshawn Johnson, who we got in the 6th round, who, if you didn't even know he was drafted in the 6th round, you would think he was drafted late 2nd, mid-3rd-ish,
Yeah.
in that range.
Yeah. Out of
So,
Fresno.
we got some talent.
I liked him after watching tape on him, man. I was actually surprised he was
Like
around.
Keyshawn,
Yeah.
how I've seen it, Keyshawn is looking more as possibly our 3rd receiver. Have Andy Isabella as our kick punt returner, and then we have Akeem Butler as our 4th receiver on the depth chart.
Yeah. I mean, that's an abundance of talent. That's an abundance of riches
So
right there.
we got some stuff.
Yeah. But for sure, I told you, your draft was, I think you might have scored the highest of any team in my draft wrap-up series. I mean, your draft was phenomenal. Like, the core of what you have, if these guys are as good as I think they can be, is through the roof. It's ridiculous. A lot of young talent on that football team.
Yeah.
Still got issues up front on the offensive line, though. But I think the air raid attack may help him get rid of the football, so it may minimize some of the issues you have up front. I don't know if that's going to help David Johnson or not. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, but David Johnson could also do damage as a receiver.
Absolutely.
In 2016, I think, 2016 when he had his monster year, he had 80 catches for, I think, like 970 yards or 870 yards or something like that.
Yeah, he was close to the 1,000 club. He was damn near close. Yeah, I remember you talking about that every week as he got closer and closer every week.
Yeah, so now here's my prediction.
Okay.
Do I want the Cardinals to go to the Super Bowl? Yes, because give Larry his ring. The dude deserves it. He's earned it. Come on already.
Right.
It's going to be close, though. Do I think we could win the division? It's debatable. If the Rams take a step back, how well we perform, how well we do. Just a few years ago, we're going to go take a little backtrack. 2012, we went 5-11. We fire our head coach. We fire our GM. We come in with Bruce Arians and Steve Keim. We go 10-6, and then 11-5, and then 13-3. Why can't we do the same thing with Cliff Kingsbury? We went 3-13 this past year. Why can't we flip the script again?
Let me ask you this, and this is a big question. Take your time. I know you know the answer, and I know the answer too. Who was your quarterback that year in 2012?
Right now?
Who?
Or back then?
Back then.
It was Carson Palmer. And then the next year, it was Carson Palmer and Drew Stanton because Palmer tore his ACL. I want to say week 10 versus the Rams. That's when we were 9-2 or 9-1 at the time.
Exactly. So you had a veteran that was established in this league that could take you to double-digit wins.
Sorry, what was that?
So I said you had an established veteran that could take you to double-digit wins after 5-11. You have a rookie quarterback that's going to go through the growing pains of the NFL. He's going to make his fair share of big plays. He's also going to make his fair share of mistakes. So that's why I just don't see the massive turnaround. Now, we've seen some young players come into this league and take it by storm over the last 5 to 7 years. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I think this team just overall is so young. It's so young everywhere. I don't think I see 10-6 in year one. Even the coaches that have come in of late that have had the success, like Matt Nagy in Chicago, like even Sean McDermott in Buffalo came in year one and took the Bills to the playoffs. They hadn't been since 1999. And, of course, Sean McVay, what he did with the Rams, turning them around, winning 10 games. All of them had quarterbacks that had been in the league at least a year. McVay had Goff going into year two. Nagy had Trubisky going into year two. And Tyrod Taylor was a veteran in Buffalo. I don't see a rookie doing what you need him to do on a consistent week in, week out basis to get you to 10, 11 victories. But stranger things have happened. That's why we love the National Football League, because anything can and generally will happen from year to year, week to week. So I won't count you out.
Remember with the Rams and Goff in the second year that when they went to the playoffs for the first time with Goff and McVay, the rookie year, Goff didn't win a single game.
Right.
So,
but he took his lumps. He had to take his lumps. He took his lumps that rookie season. He had adjusted to the speed of the game already and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, but here would be my record and standings. The Rams at 11-5.
Okay.
The Cardinals at 10-6.
Yep.
Because I do think we could flip it.
Okay.
I have the Seahawks at 8-8.
Okay.
I just don't trust that defense. They lost too much talent, and I still don't like their offensive line.
Okay.
And now they lost Doug Baldwin.
Yep.
And then the 49ers, 4-12.
Whew. Okay. Damn. I just have a hard time seeing the 49ers take a massive step backwards. I mean, obviously, that's actually not a massive step backwards. I think they were 4-12 last year, so they would be in the same spot. But
yeah,
they're just a better team. their offseason was one of the best in the league this year. I just find it hard to believe that they won't take a step forward. Even if Jimmy G is a bum. He won games with C.J. Beathard and what's the kid from Southern Miss last year?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about, though. He won games with dudes that you generally don't win games. Like, I just find it hard to believe they go 4-12. But I hear you, bro. So you've got the Rams at 11-5. You've got your Cards at 10-6. You've got the Hawks at 8-8. You've got the Niners at 4-12. So before I let you go, give me the breakdown of your division record. You're going 10-6 overall. What do you do in the division?
We sweep the 49ers for the 5th straight year.
Okay. Yikes.
And we beat the Seahawks. I could see us sweeping the Seahawks because, again, we could go into Seattle, no problem. We've done it.
Yeah, you've done it before. You're not afraid of them.
Yeah, it's easily possible. And then the tie you were talking about on, I think it was Sunday Night Football or Thursday night. It was in Arizona.
Yep.
It wasn't in Seattle.
No. And that's what I said. You've beaten them before, but you beat them in. The tie was in Arizona. I remember that game like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I want to say one of the Seahawks big time players might have been Earl Thomas went down for the season in that game or something like that too. It was a crazy game. Some missed field goals. It was insane, but nonetheless. So you've got your team sweeping the Niners.
I could see us splitting with Seattle. I think we go into Seattle and beat them, and they beat us in Arizona.
Okay.
I could also see it reversed.
Okay.
And then I could easily see us giving the Rams trouble, but I would not be surprised if they do sweep us.
Okay.
That's the one team that I would say would sweep us in the division would be the Rams. I don't see Seattle sweeping us, and I don't see the 49ers even beating us once. Okay,
so you got your team going 3-3 in the division. Sounds like sweeping the Niners.
Yeah, 3-3, 4-2 at best.
Okay, got you. All right, so you heard it here first. BE says, okay. Last question: does your 10-6 qualify you for postseason play?
Yes, as a 6 seed.
Okay. So you get in the back door at 10-6, 3-3 in the division, and they get in as a 6 seed in the NFC playoffs. All right, B. We'll be talking about this later on in the season, man. We'll see if you're right.
Oh, one more thing.
Yep.
To whoever plays winners and losers. I'm picking the Cardinals again every single game this year.
We already know that. That's a given.
Yeah, we already knew that. If I do not get first, whoever gets first in winners and losers, all I have to do is message me on YouTube or however we can find out. And if I don't finish first, whoever wins, I will buy you a football jersey of your team.
Okay, so BE's laying the gauntlet down. He says if he doesn't win in winners and losers this year, if he doesn't come in first place, and he's picking his cards every week no matter what. He picked them every week last year, and they were awful, so you know he doesn't care. He says if he doesn't come in first, whoever does, hit him up. He will buy you a jersey of your choice. The man is that confident.
I think it was till I think I led first place for like 12 or 13 weeks until the second to last week when Carmen Rana took it from me.
Yeah. That was 2 years ago, though. That wasn't last year.
3/4 of the season.
That was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Last year was a down year for me.
Yeah. So you feel like you're going to be back this year, huh?
Oh, I know I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Look, I love it. I love the confidence, man. All right, y'all. So that's BE. Hey, BE, man. Hey, always fun chopping it up with you, man. You my guy, man. Because no matter what, you bleed Cardinal red through and through, and I love it, man. Hey, take it easy, bro.
You too.
Appreciate it. So, hey, BE laying the gauntlet down, man. He is laying out the challenge. He says, if I don't win, I got you on a jersey of your choice. That's how confident he is. Sean Mack says Jimmy G he's essentially calling the man soft. He's injury prone. Sean Mack also says, I love that San Francisco defensive line, but their offense is just terrible. I don't think they're going to be terrible this year, Sean Mack. I really don't. BE says, how many callers do I let in front of me before I tell y'all a new one? LOL. He let about 3 in, and then he got up here and made it be known that his Cardinals are going to win double-digit games. Cody Smith says, what up, my Redskin broski? What's good with you, Cody? Nothing much, bro. Just chopping it up here, talking NFC West football. Got a call. Going to take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Rob.
What's going on, Rob? How you doing?
Fine. I guess I'll be talking about Seahawks most.
Okay.
So,
okay. So you're a Seahawks fan, I take it.
That is true. That is correct. Yep.
Okay. So let's talk Seahawks because I got some questions and some things I'd like to know. So let's start off with this. You look at this Seahawks team from afar. In your estimation, what's the one area that concerns you the most on this football team going into the season?
Defense. On the whole, I guess.
Okay. Now, my issue with, and I too think I actually think the offense is going to be better this year. I think you have some talent. I know Angry Bird is no longer on that offense, but I think there's a number of guys that can step up.
One thing I'll say about that is that their fourth-round draft pick was this last year.
Gary Jennings?
That kid, when he was in the fourth grade, was playing basketball, and his coach, or one of his coaches, was Russell Wilson.
Really? Are you talking about Gary Jennings?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
So they already have kind of a past, and kind of the same kind of player that Doug Baldwin would be. So
I talked about that on my breakdown of the Seahawks draft. I think Gary Jennings is going to step right in and pick up where Angry Bird left off. I think he's going to have a big year. It wouldn't shock me if he was among the leaders among rookies this year in receiving. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities to make plays in Seattle.
And like I said, he's already got a pass to Russell Wilson. So
yeah,
I think that would probably help along in his upbringing.
So you said the defense was your biggest concern. I struggle with pass rush in Seattle right now. Moving on from Frank Clark, and you drafted L.J. Collier. He's a little banged up now, but he'll be fine. But you went out in the offseason and you got Ezekiel Ansah, but he's coming off of shoulder surgery.
Correct.
Where do you think the pass rush is this going to be a collective effort? Is it going to be schemed up, or do you think someone can step up to the forefront and take the bull by the horns and be a guy that gets to the quarterback, kind of like Frank Clark was for you these past couple of years?
I'm going to give you one name that's going to surprise you.
Okay.
He's going to be playing. He might be playing some of the Bruce Irvin role from the Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
And that is, get ready for this, Shaquem Griffin.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's going to get some chances to get involved with the pass rush.
Wow, that would be fascinating because he was a guy that got some opportunity when he was at Central Florida, but it wasn't a ton. But that would be interesting because we know the guy is explosive. We saw him run at the combine, so we know the guy has some speed. I'd be interested to see what that would look like.
Well, yeah, hopefully we'll see some of that in preseason just to get an idea. But that is kind of a small-time answer. John Reed is actually suspended for 6 games for domestic
violence from 2017. Yep.
But how that happens when they don't do anything for Hill, I don't know. But that's how it stands right now. But he had 10 sacks last year, and so I guess we just got to hope for some stopgap.
And what about corner? Didn't you guys lose Justin Coleman to the Lions in free agency?
We did, but we did some drafting. Mm-hmm. Even though you didn't care that much for Blair,
I did.
I think he was kind of, when they drafted him, was kind of looking at him in the same vein as they would of Cam Chancellor.
Yeah, I think I told you that's the way I see him being utilized, and that's probably going to be his best fit is down by the line of scrimmage, in the box, and as an underneath zone defender like Cam Chancellor was. So I can see that.
And even though you really hated that draft pick from Oregon, I can see him probably maybe fitting into that
Justin Coleman
slot role.
Okay. I could see that too. He just didn't play a ton of slot at Oregon. But I didn't love the pick. You're right. I didn't love the pick. I'd have to see it to believe that one. So looking at this football team and what they were able to do, because last year I thought was going to be a down season. It turned into a surprise. Maybe not for you or other Seahawks fans. I thought it was going to be like an 8-8 season and a step back with all the losses and you know
kind of approaching that Mendoza line, weren't you?
Right. I was and you guys proved me wrong and so I'm not betting against the Seahawks this year. I got you going 10-6 and making the postseason. How do you see them faring this year? And then after that, talk to me about this division as a whole and what do you see taking place in the NFC West this season?
I am very positive about the Seahawks right now. Okay. I think their linebacking core is absolutely excellent. So I have no problem with that part of their defense. The running game is going to continue being used. Mm-hmm. I know that. I guess one thing I wanted to say was with fantasy football players or, people who play fantasy football, they probably don't want any Seahawks, but that's fine with me because I don't care because I just care about winning, and
right.
That's what they're going to do.
Right. So, what are the records of the teams or the places that they're going to finish in the division? What do you see taking place?
I see Seattle and the Rams finishing tied for first.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give you
a record.
I can't tell you which one's going to make it first or whatever.
Right.
But,
that's fine.
And San Francisco third and Arizona fourth. One thing I wanted to say was we were talking about quarterbacks earlier,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to say that Garoppolo is actually going to be the worst quarterback in this division.
You know what?
Actually, Kyler Murray could be the second best quarterback in this division. I think he might even be better than Goff. So we'll see how that works out. But that doesn't necessarily affect how they're going to be going into the season, because the air raid offense that you're talking about with Arizona,
mm-hmm.
I don't see that as being, basically what the air raid is going to mean is that their defense is going to be absolutely terrible because they're going to end up being on the field all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to be getting so tuckered out at the end of the game that it's not going to matter. So
that's what a caller brought up earlier. If they don't convert on third downs, it could turn into Chip Kelly all over again.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely
that's my
see.
feeling on them. San Francisco, I'm just not into Garoppolo at all. He hasn't shown me anything that is really sustainable that I could see. Even when he had his 5-game winning streak at the end of 2017, it didn't really matter that much to me. So
I can't blame you at all for that, Rob. I really can't. I think a lot of people are in wait and see mode with Jimmy G, and until he actually stays healthy and proves it for a full 16, you have every right to doubt that this guy is legit. So
yeah,
I'm with you on that.
One thing I would like to talk about this go around with you is schedules. Mm-hmm. And as I've noticed the last couple of years that, what I've noticed is that, like in the NFC West, the Rams and the Seahawks have the same exact schedules, and whereas with home teams and away teams on both schedules.
Yep.
And, it's the same with your Washington Redskins and Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
They get matched together as far as home games and away games.
Right.
And the same with Green Bay and Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And, the NFC South, I believe Carolina and Atlanta have the same schedules.
Mm-hmm.
And in the AFC, it's the Patriots and the Jets, and the Texans and the Colts, and the Chargers and the Chiefs, and the Browns and the Steelers.
Yeah.
So when you got, if you know which, if you go to like 2020 with your team, I do know that you're going to be playing home games against the Seahawks and the Rams, and I'm not sure which AFC division you're playing next year, but you can already figure out who your home teams are by if they switch every 4 years.
Right.
So.
And that's actually fascinating when you bring that up, because when I was looking at the schedule trying to figure out wins and losses, I looked at that exact thing. I saw that the Seahawks and the Rams played the teams in the exact same location. For example, I had both of them play Atlanta on the road. That meant that both the 49ers and the Cardinals would be playing Atlanta at home.
Right.
That makes a difference. You know,
But that's been permanent for ever since they've had 16 games. So.
Yeah.
You know, if let's say, I don't know if you're playing like the AFC West next year, but if you could have home games, you're going to have home games against the Rams and the Seahawks. Yeah. But there's a chance that you could have home games at that case of the Chiefs and Chargers also.
Right.
So if that's the case, well then at least you have something to look forward to for home games next year, right?
Right.
Not necessarily in the win-loss department, but
yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes those games they matter where you play them. You know what I mean? Some teams play much better at home.
At least with that knowledge, though, you'll be able to find out when you'll get a chance to see Patrick Mahomes in your place.
Exactly.
So if you just look back and it's the last time you played, Kansas City or San Diego, the L.A. Chargers, you would be able to figure out, when you'd be seeing them again.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate you chiming in, Rob, man. Always love the input of fans of these teams specifically, man. So love your input, man, and you have a great night, man. Take care. Thanks a lot for tuning in and chiming in on the NFC West.
All right. Well, we'll find a chance to get to you again.
Hey, looking forward to it.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
So Rob said some profound stuff there, man. He said that when it's all said and done, Kyler Murray could be the second best quarterback in this division, and he's not sold on another person, not sold on Jimmy G. And I knew we were going to have this discussion about Jimmy G tonight, because he is a polarizing figure in this division, because you really don't know what to expect from Jimmy G at this moment. But we got a call. I'm going to take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Sean Mack.
What's going on, Sean Mack?
Nothing much. How's it going, bro?
Hey, man. Another day. Another stream, chopping it up with the people that I love chopping it up with, including you. What's going on?
Love the L.A.B. Room fam. Not much. Just ready to give my predictions. And
all right, so you've already pretty much said that you're not sold on the 49ers offense with Jimmy G at the helm, which kind of leads me to believe that you're not going to give the 49ers a favorable record this season. But I'm not going to put any words in your mouth. Tell me what you think about this division as a whole. What do you see taking place, and who is going to make it to the postseason out of this division?
All right. I'll start with my first place pick, which is the Rams.
Okay.
I got them going 12-4.
Okay.
And I think Gurley goes down. I think Gurley's done. He's done for. Okay. That knee has been giving him shit since college.
Right. So you got Rams 12-4.
Yep.
But they lose Todd Gurley.
I got the Seahawks.
Okay.
At 10-6, I believe. No, I have them at 11-5.
Okay.
I actually have them losing to my Browns in a close game.
Okay. I can see that happening.
Yeah. Then I have Arizona being 5-11. So I'm not with BE. I think they'll be okay,
right,
but not great. I think Kyler Murray goes down week 3. I think Shaq Thompson's going to give him a concussion. Well, Thompson or Bruce Irvin. I think he's going to get hit late out of bounds. Is what I think is going to happen.
I love your specific injuries for these players, man.
I can just foresee that because they're both Irvin and Thompson. You go back to last year; they had borderline hits all last year. I think so. I think it's going to happen.
So you got the Cards at 5-11.
Yeah, and then I have the Niners going 13-3.
Or do you mean 3-13?
3-13, yeah. My mistake. I apologize.
All right.
I love the 49ers defensive line. I was huge on DeForest Buckner when he came out. And of course, being a little bit of a homer, baby Bosa, he's going to tear it up.
Yeah. Yeah, their defensive line is ridiculous, man. They even got stuff that they're not even using adequately, and they're still getting it done. They got the kid from Stanford on their defensive line that they really still haven't tapped into his full potential yet. They got the other Oregon kid, Eric Armstead, on the team. I mean, they're just ridiculous on that defensive line. It's dumb what they have over there.
Yeah, you remember they took defensive line in the first round 3 straight years.
Yep, they did. The 2 Oregon kids and then the Stanford dude was sandwiched in between them. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So that's how I have it playing out.
So, all right. So let me ask you this: you're not buying into Jimmy G and the 49ers, but
no.
How do you feel about Kyle Shanahan? Because if you believe in Kyle Shanahan, we watched him win with the Southern Miss quarterback. We watched him win with C.J. Beathard. We saw them in games. They should have beat Green Bay on Monday Night Football last year. He's doing all of this with backup players. They were decimated by injuries, and he had them in ball games last year. So they're a much better team to me this year. But with all the moves they made in the offseason, even if Jimmy G isn't great, you see them taking a step back because they were a 4-12 team last year. So you see them taking a step backwards.
And Kyle Shanahan as an offensive coordinator. I do not believe he is a head coach.
Okay.
I don't buy it. We've seen it the last 2 years now. I just don't see it. I believe he is one of the top 3 to 5 offensive coordinators in the NFL, easily.
Okay.
He's incredibly creative. You look when he was with the Browns, he did incredible stuff with Johnny Manziel.
Right.
And Manziel is a useless turd.
Right. So, let me ask you this, and I'll let you run. You've got the Rams going 12-4, and you've got the Seahawks going 11-5. Are either of those 2 teams true, legit Super Bowl contenders in your mind's eye?
Yes, I believe the Rams more than the Seahawks.
Okay.
Only because I like the Rams' depth more than the Seahawks.
Okay.
Outside of Russell Wilson, nothing on Seattle's roster really scares me.
And I know you're not a huge
Hell, they
DK
got
Metcalf
Markevious
fan.
Mingo starting at linebacker. I mean,
Say that again?
they have Barkevious Mingo starting at linebacker. Seattle does.
You would pick on him,
Defenses
wouldn't
outside
you?
of KJ Wright,
And
nothing really scares me there.
and the future Hall of Famer, don't forget about him.
Who's future Hall of Famer?
Their middle linebacker, Bobby Wagner.
He's, I don't know.
Bobby's the truth, man.
I've never been high on Bobby Wagner.
Bobby's legit, man. Just he got a new deal. He's feeling good about himself. So
Yeah, we know what happens to players that get new deals. We see it all the time.
I don't know if we're gonna see it with him. I liken him to Luke Kuechly. And Luke's got issues of his own with the concussions, but Bobby's not going anywhere. Bobby's legit, man. He's legit.
I'm not taking Bobby. I'm not.
Fair enough. I won't put him on you. I won't throw him on you if you're not a Bobby guy. I'm just telling you, Bobby's legit, man. But all right, so you think the Rams are more of a threat to win it all, even with the injury to Todd Gurley that you're throwing in there as a caveat?
Yes, just because I think McVay is a better head coach than Pete Carroll.
I was going to ask you that next before I let you go. that's the debate in the division now. Who's the best coach? McVay just getting an extension in Los Angeles. Carroll has done it for quite some time in this league, but I think McVay might be the better of the two, not by much, but I'm with you. I think McVay is the best coach in that division, but I'm a huge Kyle Shanahan guy as an offensive mind. Still remains to be seen if he's a leader of men, but I think this is the year they take a step forward. So, hey, man, always fun when I get to talk to you. You're one of my favorite guys. I appreciate you, Sean Mack, man, and all that you do, bro. And
all right, appreciate you. Love to you and the family.
Hey, no doubt, man. Take care.
Yep, later.
All right, so back to, let's hit Twitter real quick. I don't think there's anything there because there usually isn't, but I'm going to hit it anyway and get back to the live feed. And MCGB says, Cardinals going to get smacked week 1. I don't know what you've been on lately. Also, Seattle's going to be worse than San Fran. Just watch. So he's a Lions fan. Not happy that I have them losing to the Cardinals in week 1. It is what it is. Got a call, going to take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Louie T. This is your man, JP. What's going on, man?
What up, JP? What's good with you?
Oh, man, it's good to be back. Football's right around the corner.
We can smell it, man.
I can smell it. Smell it in the kitchen.
Yes, indeed.
Hey,
Tomorrow,
what's going on, man?
Tomorrow sparks a stretch where we will be with football for the next 6 months consecutively. Hall of Fame game, and we will be with football for the next 6 months. It is a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
So, talk to me about this division, the NFC West. What do you see transpiring in this division?
Oh man, I actually like this division though. Not gonna lie, I like this division. As you know, first thing I gotta talk about is I gotta talk about the Rams. The incredible run they had last year, going to the Super Bowl. Thought that Jared Goff could have been a little bit better. I thought Todd Gurley wasn't right. You know, I hope this isn't the end for him. Dude just got paid last year.
Right.
I'm hoping that he can rebound from his injury. You know, I loved him at Georgia. I love me some Jared Goff. Love the kid coming out of Cal.
Yep.
I was probably one of the very few to not give up on him even after how bad he played in his rookie year.
Right.
And Aaron Donald's the best defensive lineman in the game right now. Khalil Mack's definitely up there. I like this Rams team. Not so sure if I should be confident in the Seahawks because the defense doesn't look very good right now with the injuries. They lost Cam Chancellor. They lost Cam Chancellor for basically until the end of time. Yeah, they just had an injury to L.J. Collier, I think the other day.
Yep.
I love Russell Wilson. I think he's one of the 5 or 10 best quarterbacks in the league. I'm not confident in that defense. I'm not confident in that offensive line. I like me some DK Metcalf. I like what the Seahawks are doing on offense, but I'm just not confident in that defense.
Right.
I like this. The San Francisco defensive line is stupid. It's just stupid scary.
It is.
I think they could be one of the best defensive lines in football when healthy.
Right.
You brought in Nick Bosa. He's got a chance to be Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate. You got the kid from Oregon. You got DeForest Buckner. You got Armstead. You have some monsters on that line. I like Richard Sherman. I'm hoping that he could. I hope he's still up there. He's not the same guy he once was, but I think he's serviceable. He could be a good veteran mentor for the locker room and for the young defensive backs they have.
Right.
I like Pete Carroll. I don't know if he can. Let me say this. I like Pete Carroll. I just don't know if he can keep his players under control at times. And lastly, the Cardinals. I'm excited for Kyler Murray this year. He's probably the most polarizing rookie to come into this draft, to come into this league in almost a decade, maybe 10 years, maybe 10, 20 years since Andrew Luck got here. I'm hoping Cliff Kingsbury can use this air raid offense he's bringing into the NFL. I'm still skeptical because he comes in with a losing record as a college coach, but I think he could work some magic with Kyler Murray. I'm rooting for the kid. I know not everybody else is confident, but I think he's going to be a Rookie of the Year candidate as well. I love that. But, the Larry legend, Larry Fitzgerald, he's getting near the end, but I hope the man gets his Super Bowl ring eventually. I like what the Cardinals are doing on that defense. I love me some Chandler Jones. I love the Deontay Thompson kid that I thought my Redskins should have drafted this year. But they got some horses up there on that defense. I think I like what they're doing there. I think Christian Kirk can take a big step on that offense. I'm not really confident in the offensive line though, but I think overall, this is a good team. I think this can be a good Cardinals team. I don't think they're there yet.
Right.
I think they're going to be much better than they were last year.
Okay. So all that being said, love the breakdowns you gave for each team. Now give me positioning within the division. Where do you have each team winding up when it's all said and done, and who will qualify for the postseason in your mind?
All right. So I'm going to surprise you a little bit. Okay. I've got the Rams being the NFC West champions again.
Okay.
I'm going to surprise you. I think they're good enough to go 15-1 or possibly 16-0.
Wow.
That's how good I think this Rams team can be.
Okay.
Just because of that offense and that beast man leading up that defensive line, and Aaron Donald, the best defensive lineman in the game. I think I like the Seahawks being second. I'm not that confident in their defense. Their offense is scary good with DK Metcalf coming in. I do worry a little bit about DK Metcalf because he drops the ball a lot. But I think the Seahawks are going to be right up there. They're going to be second. I got them going 10-6.
Okay.
I think the Cardinals are going to be a 6-7 win team.
Okay.
Just because I think Kyler Murray is going to be able to win them some games. I don't think they're a double-digit win team yet.
Right.
And lastly, I've got the 49ers. I hope Jimmy G comes back and he's a comeback player of the year candidate, but I think they're going to win only 4 or 5 games. They're going to be better than they were last year, but I don't think they're up there with the upper echelon of the league just yet. It's going to take time. Maybe next year. I think the 49ers are going to be a playoff contender along with the Cardinals.
Okay. I take heed to what you say, because last year you were one of the few people that said the Bears were going to be really good. You were on top of that well before anybody else was. So I take notice when you speak on these records before the season. I don't know about 15-1, 16-0, but I hear you loud and clear, JP, man. And we're going to see how this thing shakes out. You're another person that's just not buying what the Niners are selling. I am on the 49ers this year. I think they're going to be a good team. But you're another person that just doesn't see it happening. And you really think the Rams are going to be outstanding this season. Last question before I let you run. Obviously, the Rams going 15-1, 16-0. They're going to make the playoffs. You got them in the NFC Championship game, you said. What about the Seahawks at 10-6? Is that good enough to get them in the postseason or not?
Absolutely. I think 10-6 is going to be enough. I think maybe that they could potentially steal a big road win from one of these top teams. I think they're good enough to go 10-6. Just because of the play of Russell Wilson, I think he's an MVP candidate. I don't understand why he hasn't been a league MVP yet.
Yeah.
I think he deserves one at the point. And I think he's good. And again, he's going to be a Seahawk for life. As long as he's there, that team is going to be good. Even though I hate them, I despise them, I still think he's one of the 10 best quarterbacks in this league.
You're not wrong there at all, JP. My man, JP, thanks for chiming in, bro. Your input definitely warranted. Appreciate you, man. You have a good one.
All right. Thank you very much, Lou.
No doubt. That's my man, JP, everybody. He was on the Bears last year. I'm going to see what gem he serves up for us this year. He just threw one our way. I'm not buying what he's selling Rams going 15-1, 16-0, but that's what he's offering up. We'll see what happens with that. But another caller, another viewer, not sold on the Niners. I'm in the minority here. I didn't think I would be standing by myself, but I think it might be me and my man Tones that think the Niners have a legitimate shot of being solid this year. Not many of you think the 49ers are worth a damn. I'm not buying what y'all selling, man. I'm drinking that Niners wine over here, man, and it's fine. Chateau de Brion, 1969. We'll see what happens. Or 1949. You see what I did there. All right. Let's get to some more comments. Cody Smith says, hey, broski, obviously Zeke is going to get paid, but what or where do you see Melvin Gordon ending up? I don't see him going anywhere. However, that's going to be a long standoff there. But when it's all said and done, I think he's going to end up in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Don't see him going anywhere. Let's see. Protect Sports says Jason Verrett is made of plastic glass. He is definitely a guy that gets hurt very often. Archangel says, I see Shannon helping Coach Jimmy G up, and they snatched up my favorite running back from the Free and Cole duo. Hurt my feelings, Lou. I know. I loved. I told you that I thought he was underrated in free agency. You knew you had too many backs in that backfield. Edo Smith played well last year. You drafted another guy this year in Allison, so you knew you weren't bringing him back anyway. But I'm a huge Tevin Coleman fan, and I think he's going to blow up in San Francisco if he's healthy. That's been something he has had issues with. He was healthy last year. If he's healthy again in 2019, I look for him to run over a K this year and really be a force. And that offense is tailor-made for Tevin Coleman. I think he could be big for them in San Francisco this year. Another reason why I think they're going to be outstanding on offense. Nick Riley says, hell, that's how I feel about Michigan boys against Ohio State. We got to beat them sooner or later. You're right. At some point, Jim Harbaugh is going to beat them, right? I don't know. We'll see. JP says, what's up, peeps? Yeah, man. We bat like cooked crack over here, man. Blackbird Blitz. My man B3 says, got to take care of his home fam, but the chat needs Lou as well. Hey, I'm coming, man. Oh, phone lines are ringing. I'm sorry. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
This is Ricky.
What's going on, Ricky?
What's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. Talking NFC West football. Want to get your opinion on this division. What do you think is going to take place? Who's going to finish where? The floor is yours. What's going to take place in the NFC West 2019?
All right. So, you might think I'm crazy, but Russell Wilson will be the MVP of the year.
All right, let me stop you there. Are you a Seahawks fan?
No.
Okay. Are you a fan of any of these teams?
No.
Okay, cool. Continue.
They will go 12-4.
Okay.
I have the Rams suffering from the Super Bowl hangover.
Okay.
They will go 9-7.
Okay. First person to mention that. Okay. So you went out on a limb. Everyone's pretty much been picking the Rams, I would say almost unanimously, to win the division. There's been a couple of people that have thought, the Seahawks or even the Cardinals can give them a run for their money, but ultimately the Rams have come in first. You're the first person to say that they're not going to come in first and that they're going to suffer from the Super Bowl hangover. That's a real thing. Now, I don't know if they're going to succumb to it or not, but that's a real thing. So 9-7 for the Seahawks. All right, you've got the Seahawks at 12-4, correct?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson winning the MVP. All right, wrap up this division with the Niners and the Cards. Where do you see them finishing in this division?
8-8 for the 49ers.
Okay.
Yeah. And 6-10 for the Cardinals.
Okay. And give me a cliff note for every team in this division. So give me something. So you gave me something already for the Seahawks. Russell Wilson's going to win the MVP. You gave me something for the Rams. They're going to suffer from the Super Bowl hangover. Give me a cliff note for the 49ers and the Cards.
Jimmy G is about to go down again.
Okay.
Like halfway through the season, he's going to go down.
Okay. Cliff note for the 49ers.
It's Patriot players, and once they leave the Patriots, they don't really amount to anything.
I can't disagree. At least at the quarterback position, I cannot disagree with that at this moment. And give me a cliff note for the Cardinals.
David Johnson will have 1,500 purpose yards.
1,500 all-purpose yards. David Johnson is back in 2019 under Cliff Kingsbury's air raid offense. Hey, Ricky, appreciate the call, man. Love it. You're the first one to say the Rams aren't going to win the division, and 9-7 is all they can muster in 2019. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not, man. You have a good one. Take care.
All right, bro.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
So Ricky says, nah, man. Rams ain't winning this division again for the third straight year. The Seahawks are getting back on top, and it's funny that Ricky says that Russell Wilson's going to win the MVP because JP just said that he is expecting Russell Wilson to have a monster year, and he can't believe he hasn't already won the MVP. And Rick's like, well, good, you're in luck. Russ is about to get his MVP in 2019. So we'll see. That's a little bit different than what we've been hearing for the most part tonight. So Rick coming in with a call that was a little different from everyone else. I love it. Let's see. Protect Sports says, that's cap. Big cap, bro. BE be lacking. You know, BE's going to ride with his boys. Sean Mack says, until I fell through a roof on a fire call. and you got to stay healthy, man. You always got some craziness going on, man. But you are a man of the people. I can say that, Sean Mack, for sure. Always willing to help somebody out, even if it is at your expense. Sean Mack says the air raid offense is just a fad. It will fade out in a few years. We've seen a lot of things come and a lot of things go in this league. And maybe this air raid offense will be another one of those things that come and go. Or this could be something with a little bit of sticking power. We will see. Only time will tell as to just how profound this air raid attack will be in the league. Ricky L says, damn it, it's busy. Well, you just got through, Rick, man. It was good chopping it up with you. I didn't even know that was you. So, I know you're an Eagles fan. If I would have known who I was talking to, I would have already known that. I wouldn't have had to ask you were you a fan of any team in the division. I didn't even know that was you, Rick. My fault. But that's the first time I think you've called in. I could be wrong. I don't recall talking to you before. Sean Mack says, I forgot to give you a few more of my prediction tidbits. He says, I'm wavering on New England going 15-1 prediction. Don't waver. All right? Don't waver on that. That's what you think. That's what you think. Sean Mack says, Larry Fitz does not, he says, 1, Larry Fitz does not finish the season and Kirk is the number 1 from here on out. 2, Gurley goes down on the running back depth chart, and John Kelly from Tennessee puts up some numbers. They like Malcolm Brown, and they like Henderson that they just drafted in the 3rd round. So it'll be tough for John Kelly to move up the depth chart that high. But, you know, stranger things have happened. Ricky L says he didn't even know. I did know. I did not know until I just got into the comment section and I realized who Ricky was. I was like, whoa, that was my man Rick. This is the first time I think I've chopped it up with you. You've called in. Rick also says, also the Seahawks losses will be New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, and Philadelphia. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you said they were going 12-4. So those are their 4 losses. Let me look at those losses. You said New Orleans, they are at home. That's a tough one. New Orleans coming into Seattle and winning. You also said Cleveland. So let's take a look at this on the screen here. And so you said New Orleans, that's a home game against New Orleans in week 3. You said Cleveland, that's a road game in week 6. So that's definitely a game. I have them losing that game as well. Minnesota on a Monday night at home. You're outside of your damn mind, Rick. That's a death trap. Nobody beat Seattle, and I mean nobody beat Seattle on primetime television in Seattle. The refs ain't having it. The league ain't having it. And most importantly, Seattle ain't having it. And then you have them losing to Philadelphia, as do I, on a Sunday night in Philly in week number 12. So there's that. And so with that, I have no more calls. And I'll check Twitter once more. I know there's nothing there. And there isn't. So that's going to do it for the NFC West. That was a great night of calls. Everyone was articulate. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone stated it clearly. I even got to chop it up with a fan of just about every team in the division. Had a Cardinals fan. I didn't have a 49ers fan. I think that's the only team we missed. We had a Seahawks fan. And we had a Rams fan call in. So I am definitely looking forward to this division. I think it's going to be a very fascinating one because I think the two young teams in Arizona and San Francisco have a shot to really ascend and do damage. I don't think the Cardinals are quite there yet, but I think the 49ers, and I'm a lot higher on them than most, as tonight proved. I think that they have a legitimate shot at really being good this year and challenging for a playoff berth. We'll see. But I look at this situation with this division. I still think the Rams are the creme de la creme. I think the Seahawks are right there. You know, ball bounces their way in one of their two matchups, and you could easily see the Seahawks being 11-5 and the Rams being 10-6. But this is a division that I think is going to go down to the wire. I don't think anyone's going to run away and hide with this division. So this will be a lot of fun. You know what would have been even better is if the final game of the season pitted the Rams and the Seahawks versus one another. That could have easily been for the division. Instead, they each finished with one of the bottom feeders of the division in San Francisco and Arizona. So we'll see what happens in the division. But nonetheless, that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. Remember, if it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage. It could be. Remember, if you haven't checked out the podcast, what are you waiting on? Louie T Network podcast available on Stitcher, Google Music Play, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, and, of course, the website, LouieTNetwork.net. And also, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Louie T Network if you haven't already done so, and share this video. If you are on a Facebook group, share it. You know, spread the word. Louie T Network. I am your man, Louie T, signing off. You'll see me again tomorrow. Hall of Fame game. I'll break down that coverage. Again, we probably only give a damn about the first possession for each team. But the fact that football is going to be on the television screen, I'm going to be glued to it as if this is a playoff game for the first 10 minutes. But nonetheless, just the fact that football's back for the next 6 months. Tomorrow signifies that. I'll be excited. We'll come after the game meets its conclusion, chop it up, and talk about football being back. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then,